6 months since the LA fires, and Governor Gavin Newsom has reminded us funds have flowed from the federal government. Yesterday at Pasadena City College, he talked about the $2 billion in FEMA funds, a 100% match from FEMA, started by President Biden, extended then into President Trump's tenure. But Governor Newsom's $40 billion request to Congress is still outstanding. As for that $40 billion, the president has suggested he's not eager to approve that money, but the likelihood Texas will seek federal aid to recover from last weekend's flooding may improve California's chances of getting at least some of the funding it is requested. Our Washington correspondent Cassie Simeon joins us now from Washington, D.C. this afternoon. Cassie, just tell us a little bit about the president's comments on all of this and what the response has been like from the California lawmakers on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, the president and Governor Newsom have really been going toe-to-toe over the last several weeks now, particularly over the protests in L.A. and the president's federalization of the California National Guard. All of that stemming, of course, from the Trump administration's immigration crackdowns, which you just mentioned at the top of the show, that have been happening all over the city and the state. But then the president suggested it's, quote, difficult to give money to someone he doesn't like, such as Governor Gavin Newsom. That was just too much for many California Democrats here in Washington. In the Pacific Palisades in Altadena, the rebuilding after January's deadly wildfires is underway. But the recovery has begun without any of the $40 billion in federal fire assistance sought by Governor Gavin Newsom. Speaker Mike Johnson's office has told Spectrum News that they are waiting for the White House to make a formal disaster aid request in order to take action. But late last month, President Donald Trump didn't seem inclined to make that request anytime soon.
Hatred is never a good thing in politics. When you don't like somebody, don't respect somebody, it's harder for that person to get money.
That comment outraging Democrats in the California delegation.
We never turned to an individual in Louisiana and said, you sleep on your cousin's couch forever because we don't like what's happening in Baton Rouge. We disagree with this or that in your state government. It's absolutely outrageous.
This divide between the president and California, this has never happened before. We are the United States of America. That's the name of the country. And we would never say no to Louisiana if they need help from flooding. They've never said no to us if we need help from fire. Let's not start that division.
Although every California Republican signed a letter to congressional leadership supporting the aid request, one Republican Congressman, Darrell Issa, seemed to suggest he is okay with the president withholding aid in order to leverage the governor to change his policies.
Yes, we do have a tiff between the two, but the tiff between the two is over policies. Policies where California is putting people at fire risk by not willing to do it. We can't just give you the money if, in fact, you burn down your own neighborhood. And to a certain extent, California is setting California up for failure. We need to have some alignment of policies consistent with the rest of government. And if the president is using that as a lever to get the right thing for the people of California, he's doing exactly what my constituents want.
Despite the president's comments, the governor striking an optimistic tone Monday that disaster relief will be passed in the near future by Congress. He suggested other states experiencing natural disasters, especially the Republican-led state of Texas, now dealing with flooding, could pave the way for California to get its funds.
I expect that we will figure out a path, a bipartisan path to support the people of the United States of America, and those include the 40 million Americans residing in California.
Now, I spoke with many House Democrats last week before they left for the current recess and those deadly floods in Texas began, if they would vote against disaster aid for another state until California's request was addressed. Not one that I asked said they would. All of them saying that tragedy should not be politicized, but it seems unlikely at this point that Congress would approve money for Texas without doing so for California onwards. So we'll have to wait and see just how Congress plans to act here.
It's interesting. There's some outstanding requests, as you and I have discussed previously, from other hurricanes as well, from North Carolina and beyond. So all this gets bundled together, and Texas brings the point to a head, especially when it comes to the politics of it. Cassie Simeon, thank you so much for your reporting today from Washington, D.C.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage. And click the subscribe button here. You can also download our app and watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.